Friends, again, greetings in Jesus' name. So, we've been talking about calling, preparation, and we are coming almost to the point of the final victory, conquering, because that's the reason what God called us. But you know what? Before victory, the final defeat of the devil will try to fight till the last second, even if he knows that he's a defeated foe, even if he understands he can never win God, but he never stops trying. It amazes me how much the devil tried to come against God's plan, God's purposes in your life, my life, our lives. Somehow he wants to stop, if possible, the God's plan, purposes in our lives. So with all these preparations, can you imagine again, in the last video I just mentioned it, that God said to him, if you are fearful, why should he use even the word fearful? You know, when God was talking to Joshua, how many times God said, be bold and no fear. And Jesus spoke to his disciples, why are you so fearful? So that makes me to understand that fear seems to be the greatest weapon the enemy uses against the people who are called by God, like you and me. Fear grips our heart in different occasions to stop us what God called us to do. Because when God calls you, he calls you for a bigger work, because God is big. And his plans are not just for us. His plans are for the nations. So I also started, as I was studying this, I understood why Gideon was, after all these preparations and confirmations, with all the army God gave him, the final figure, but still be fearful. No wonder, friends, if I read you verse 12, it would make you, me, us understand why Gideon is still fearful. Let me read you verse 12. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along in the valley like grasshoppers, for a multitude, and their camels were without number, as the sand by the seaside of the multitude. Just think of that. They're like a sea sand. That's what God said to Abraham. He said, I will bless you. Your children will be like stars in the heaven and like a sand in the ocean, something that we cannot count. That's what the enemy is there. If you read chapter 8, verse 10, it gives you the number also. I calculated those two figures. It's 135,000 people. That's the strong army for 7 years that are surrounded by the people of God, bringing them fear, and they were running and hiding. We studied all that in the previous videos. That's why it's so practical, my friend. If you are afraid, if you are fearful of what God called you to do, that's natural. That's normal. It's okay. God understands. Yes. If God was not understandable, he might have left Gideon a long time ago. But the God who called us is not only an able God, not only a God of impossibilities, it's not only a God who believes in himself and the power he has, but he's patient with us. I want you to understand that God is patient with you because He called you. He needs you, my friend. He can use somebody else, but He will never do that. Why? God is eternal. His plan is eternal. His purposes are eternal. He wants to use you. He called you. And our weaknesses, our fears will never stop us. Never stop God to accomplish His purposes in our lives and through our lives. So we have seen why he was so fearful, because of the strength of the army. But I want to read you a verse how God is as a part of preparation for the final onset to give victory to the people of God. I will read you verse 11. I mentioned in the previous video verse 10, but I will read you verse 11. And thou shalt hear what they say. Who is they? It's the enemy. God not only speaks to us, God also uses so many circumstances, different people in our lives to confirm His plan for our lives. I mean, amazing thing is, He still uses the enemy to bring us hope, to bring us confirmation of His calling. That amazes me. And God did that. He says, and thou shalt hear what they say, and afterward shall thine hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down with Purah his servant unto the outermost part. I mean, I want you to encourage you, friend. God can use even our enemies to confirm our calling, to be the conquerors. That's true here. And then when they went there, then the amazing thing was, there was two soldiers that were talking. Verse 13. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man who told a dream unto fellow and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and came unto the tent, and smote it, and it fell. A bread came, it touched the tent, and the tent fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay flat. Listen to this. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else except the sword of Gideon, and the son of Joash, the man of Israel. For into his hand hath God delivered Midian and all the host. Friend, this is the key. This is the change everything in Gideon. In spite of all the preparations, all the Spirit of the Lord came upon him. He blew the trumpet until everything God has been speaking to him, preparing him. If I read you the next verse, this is where we realize that God's vision should become our vision. God is talking to him, preparing him. But that should become, God said, arise, man, go. And here, this is the key here. For him, this is the key for victory. And it was so when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned into the host of Israel and said, arise. He is telling now what God told him before. He was telling now. God said, arise and go. How did it happen? This incident, the final incident, made him to totally trust and believe and surrender totally unto God. You know, when you use the word worship, my friend, it's a total unconditional surrender. From head to toe. When they worship, they used to bow down, saying, Lord, from head to toe, I surrender myself. That's where an unconditional, total surrender came. He totally surrendered himself and said, God, here I am, available. And what's the next thing? He arose from there, came back to his people, 300 men of war, the army of Gideon. And he says, arise, guys, it's time to go. That's the final confirmation. God confirms his call on our lives, even through different people, even through the enemies. Friends, are you still doubting? Are you still thinking, is it really God or me? Is it really God? You know how many times we doubt God because our emotions, our feelings involves with God's dealings with our lives. So we get confused because that's the strategy of the enemy, to confuse us. We come to the point, even we can't even differentiate which is God and which is me. Even though God is confirming us, we think it may be my thoughts, it may be my feeling, it may be their feelings. No, friend, this is God. This is God calling. And when it conformed to Gideon, then he took it 100%. He says, now I'm confident, man, let's rise and go. God is going to give us victory. He says actually, arise, for the Lord hath delivered into your hands the host of Midian. He didn't say he's going to deliver us. No. He says he already won the victory. He says God has delivered already the Midianites into your hand. Think of the faith there. Think of the confirmation there. Total confirmation. And he has no doubt whatsoever that it's God. And God is going to give them. He's not thinking of going and fight and, God will give us victory. No. He's confirmed beyond any shadow of the doubt that God called him for a victory. And friends, I will be sharing with you the strategy for the victory. That's the key. What do we do to be victorious? He already obeyed, prepared, worshipped God, surrendered life, but the strategy is needed. And I will share with you the important God's strategy in our lives, through our lives, for victory. Until then, God bless you. Thank you for listening to this.